Okay, so let's keep it moving. Right here, we have learn to not hold or attack yourself with negative emotion. We just deal with it and we let it go, right? So the next very important part of mentality is knowing exactly what we want, right? We have to be very specific. We can't just be like, oh, I want to be successful or I just want to make some money, because we have to be careful with loose thoughts like this, because these desires that we create with these broad statements mixed with emotion are going straight into God's request line, so to speak, of universal law. Right? So here's the deal. We could tell by looking at Earth, our human bodies, the stars, and etc. We can tell that we're dealing with a very intelligent God, right? So I like to think that a God of this level of intelligence also has a very intelligent sense of humor as well. So if I desire money and I'm not specific, maybe God will deliver me, like, put $5 in my pocket, right? That's what I'm saying right here, $5 in my hand, LOL. In the universal, like the intelligent joke about it would be, well, you never said how much money you wanted. So technically I answered your prayer, right? I gave you some money. You asked, I want to be successful. I want to have some money. I want to make some money. Well, there's your $5. Okay, so that's what we're getting at, is as far as the need to be precise. So if you just said, I want to make some money, well, we got to be more deliberate, right? So we have to be precise. We have to know exactly how much money we want and how much money we want to buy. All right. So I do go right here to say, give this like warning or disclaimer right here, that if you were raised Christian, you may find this a little difficult to do in the beginning, which is, knowing exactly what you want and how much you want and when you want to buy, because we were kind of taught that we are supposed to just accept whatever God blesses us with and not to be greedy, of course, right? But right here, you see right here in the blue, it says, but it is my belief that if, you're a righteous man or a righteous woman, or you have positive intentions, that whatever you want really is righteous as well, right? So it is God's will. Whatever we want is God's will. This is my belief. If we're already of God, and going forth in our life with positive intention, and being responsible for our thoughts and for our energy and how we exchange with others, right? So then whatever we want us to is God's will. So yes, straight up I say. So God is just waiting on us to pick up the ball. God is just waiting for us to know what we want and to take responsibility. God is waiting on us to be exact. God is waiting on us to know exactly what we want. God is waiting for us to have extreme faith that it will be. These are all signals the subconscious mind sends out to the universe via emotion, the emotions, namely faith, for one, desire, for two, obsession, love, enthusiasm, hope, vision, strength, persistency, courtesy, initiative, self-control, and more. And I say here, you can do this. All right. So on the green, we have here desire plus knowing what you want. Right. So I like to put things in headliners like this, because this is how I've had to remember things over the years sometimes, and maybe it'll help, and just maybe help you assist in remembering some of the more important parts about this, like key takeaways. I like to flash this, like, and put into the subconscious mind what we're talking about. So desire plus knowing what we want. We got we're working up this fire called desire, focusing in on what we want. So now that we got that the power, now that we are starting to understand more so the power of the subconscious mind, like how our subconscious mind communicates with the universe and starts to create this reality that we have, and the one that we live in, and we see the importance of the subconscious mind. So we decide to do what? We decide to take more initiative and more responsibility so we can be a part of this manifestation and creation of our world, right? And we'll be seeing as we go forward how this all ties into trucking, because this is a super important part about trucking. Our mentality is really what's going to help us in a very large way be successful, almost more than anything. So now that we got the power of the subconscious mind, in the conversation and the knowing exactly what we want part, the next part is repetition. This is also called auto-suggestion by Napoleon Hill. Okay, so we use our conscious mind, using our conscious mind. We must repeat over and over again what we want. As I'm sure I'm going to say it here in just a moment, but the key is to actually believe, what we're telling ourselves. Can't just say it over and over again. So repeat what you want over and over again until you finally convince your subconscious mind that it is real and that it must happen. All right, so that's the key. It's a process that takes as long as it takes to finally convince your subconscious mind. So sometimes it might take 21 days. It might take 3 weeks. It might take 3 months. It's all different for each person, but once you break through, then, you're there, essentially. And so then it'd be a matter of just continuing to keep your subconscious in that state of mind. So once you get your subconscious mind on board, you will be good to go. And at that point, it will just take regular maintenance of keeping the weeds, quote unquote, the weeds of doubt, worry, and fear out of our conscious mind. Anytime we get one of those negative emotions, doubt, worry, or fear, kill them out, weed killer, round up, pluck them out, whatever we got to do, let them pass. Like I said, deal with it and get those negative thoughts out quick as possible. Because if fear is in our conscious mind, it will be planted into our subconscious mind by default. And we know what happens once it gets into our subconscious mind, it becomes real. So we shouldn't let negative emotion try to take over our manifestation process, clearly, right? So in blue, it says, yes, this discipline will take work, but it is worth it for sure, okay? And yes, fleeting thoughts of doubt may come. We're always going to, sometimes, I don't want to say always, but, those, the fleeting, I can say fleeting because it comes and goes, but like the thoughts or the feeling of doubt may come, like, what if I break down, or what if I don't have enough money? Now, we have to get ahead of these things and not let it, run our mind, conscious or subconscious, eventually, or definitely our subconscious mind, or we're going to create this lifestyle for us where we're always breaking down and stuff. We have to have more faith in that. We have to, do as many of the right things and drive our trucks in a manner that, keeps it in great shape. And, and we do these things when we have faith. So let's continue here. When these emotions come, we just face them head on, deal with them, and just let them go. Do not allow these negative emotions to live inside of you for too long. Experience them and let them pass through as quickly as possible. No long-term visitations, right? Because they will not serve you one bit. These negative emotions, sometimes they feel good in the moment and they're really like, it's that, temporary pleasure. Sometimes negative emotions, it's the word is temporary pleasure, basically. The word is skipping me right now, so oh well. But these negative emotions, they will only attempt to overthrow your positive goals and dreams. Once negative emotion infiltrates your subconscious mind, it's kind of like it's over with. Our thoughts become real. Countering negative emotion is called discipline of the mind. Almost all successful people have mastered this discipline of the mind to some degree. The great news is that you can achieve this discipline too. Yep. But before going to the next key point of this mentality upgrade, or not upgrade, this mentality chapter, this mentality lesson in regards to truck driving business and life, I will show you exactly how I achieve discipline of my mind and how I can convince my subconscious mind that I will be exactly what I want to be and where I want to be. Okay? And this takes a lot more work in the beginning, but like once this part's really established and broke through, it's something that probably say less and less because it gets to the point where you actually believe it so much that it's not even as much necessary anymore to continue to do this. Like, 'cause this was a ritual for me for a long time. Once I really started taking more like direct responsibility of like of my discipline of my subconscious mind, like I would say this every day like a ritual until I finally believed it. I say this usually at the beginning of each day at the time of this writing, and there's never anything wrong with even after you you reach these levels to go back to doing some type of positive like self-talk, auto-suggestion. So, and throughout the day I still do this same, what I'm about to show you, but in smaller versions, not the full version. So feel free, of course, to alter it and to even give it a more personalized version for yourself and for your particular goals. Okay, my version has been through about 10 upgrades since I first began doing this, and I'm always improving it to make this even better as I go. But here's the big bold disclaimer before going forward. You must remember this part about what mentality when it comes to like taking discipline of your mind, conscious and subconscious, right? Saying these mantras and not believing them will do nothing. All right, it's a waste of time. I'll repeat, they will do nothing. You must believe what you say. Right? Seriously. Just like when they used to tell us as kids, you got to believe it. Whatever you believe you could be it or whatever. We got to believe these things that we're about, these positive self-talk we're about to be having with ourselves. All right? So you must attach positive emotion to the internal conversation that you have with yourself. It may be challenging at first, and it might even sound like you're lying to yourself. Right? I know I felt like I was lying to myself. But look what it says right here in the blue. But you must continue day after day. All right? It's the only way you can convince your subconscious mind. Remember, your subconscious mind is like an old man or old woman, and like, you can't quickly hustle an old person like that. Not this old wise person. This person's an old wise person, and they're like, look, you got to show me before I believe. So I continue to say here, once your subconscious mind believes you, the universe is now on your side. It will be now assisting you in the creation of your desires. All right? It takes 21 days to build a new pathway into our mind. In other words, it takes at least about 21 days of consistency to create a new habit and to lock it in as a habit, right? So, we're about to do this big money, mantra, positive auto-suggestion to get this spirit of money consciousness going into us, to be more of an attractor of positivity, okay, in a successful business, and wealth, okay? So we're about to get into this money consciousness and this money attraction. So the amount of money you say in this auto-suggestion will be up to you according to where you are in your journey. So, for example,
I will replace the exact amount of money with the letter X. So every time you see me put the letter X in here, is whatever money you have decided that you want to make in your goal right now. So this letter X could be $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000, etc. But it's up to you. So when I say X, just replace it with the exact dollar amount that you want to have this year. I know one of the first big goals that I did around this time frame when I first really got into like Napoleon Hill was that I wanted to have $100,000 cash in the bank, liquid cash. So out loud, I say, I will have $100,000 in my bank this year by December 31st. So that's the win. So that's the how much, and this is the win. I just always give myself, like, you can pick different times, but I just tell myself by the end of this year, so that way I don't like over pressure myself and like create like self-imposed pressure. And I'm like, oh man, by July I'm supposed to have this thing, and it's already June, and like, no, I don't play that game anymore. So I will have $100,000 in my bank this year by December 31st. All right, so this is what I'm saying out loud. But really, what's most importantly is that you believe it in your spirit, in your essence of being. You just really have to like believe and take on that state of mind as if you already have it. So I will have $100,000 in the bank this year by December 31st. I will do this by successfully delivering my customers' freight and by making smart decisions and by taking initiative. I feel as if I'm already in possession of this money, $100,000. I will not let doubt or worry crystallize into fear. And I will not allow my reactions of others or anything cause me to drift, because I have, right here in the blue, because I have accurate thinking, definite of purpose. I know what I want. I make decisions quickly, and I'm slow to change them. I stand my ground, but in a likable way. I'm very enthusiastic. I have an attractive personality. I'm highly favored. I'm highly valued. I'm highly respected. I'm highly loved. I'm highly appreciated. I make great deals, and people love to make deals with me. That was a difficult one in the beginning when I was making myself believe that one. I'm like, oh man, I make great deals and people love to make deals with me. Yeah. So the next part of this goes like this. It goes, I believe, capital letters, I believe I will be in possession of this money, $100,000. I have so much faith that I can see the money, $100,000 in my bank accounts already when I'm checking my phone. My app. I can see this balance in my online banking apps on my phone. I feel as if the money is transferring. I feel as if the money is transferring into my hands. I feel as if I already have this $100,000 in my accounts now. Then I'll close it like this. Faith. These are the positive emotions that I'm programming into myself at this point. Faith, desire, obsession, enthusiasm, love, sex, hope, initiative, intuition, action, persistence, imagination, instinct, strength, accountability, responsibility, self-control, problem solver, deal maker, great health, success, and true happiness. Okay? These are all the attributes I just put on myself. And whatever more I can think of at that time. Because this is all something that, I would have into my memory, and I would just go through it without reading it or looking at it. Okay? So this is how I lock it in. So after I just gave myself all these great attributes and what I'm going to have and what I feel, I say, this is who I am. This is how I think. This is how I project myself. This is how I conversate and interface. And this is how I'm received and perceived. And most importantly, this is how I feel. Feeling. And in parentheses, I put the asterisk by sex because I know that might have might throw a couple people off. But Napoleon Hill teaches sex as one of the strongest positive emotions. See right here? Sex is one of the strongest positive emotions Napoleon Hill teaches. So then after that, I say thanks be to the Most High. And a special shout out to Earth, my ancestors, and into my special counsel. That's a Napoleon Hill thing. But as far as special counsel goes. So this last part is a part that I add to it, okay? If you want to thank your God or not, right here at the end is a great place to do it, because at this point it also becomes a prayer and an even stronger affirmation sealed in faith and in gratitude. Remember, what we're doing at this point is literally convincing our subconscious mind. We're like a salesman doing our best to convince our subconscious mind that everything we want and say that we just told it is real and that it's ours to have. Okay? Like I said, you can say affirmations all you want, but if you don't believe it, it's probably not going to happen. Let's just be honest, okay? It's not until we mix positive emotion into an idea that it begins to actually work in our favor. Positive emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. Okay, so if you want to put your ideas into motion, we have to mix these positive emotions into our plans and into our thoughts. Positive emotions. And what are the positive emotions? They're right here. We just got into it before we did the mantra. Yeah, wherever I put them at. But right here too, though, faith. Really, these are the positive emotions. These first ones in this group of blue: faith, desire, obsession, enthusiasm, love, sex, hope. All right, these ones right here. These 7. Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like, I'm going to have $100,000 this year in the bank by December 31st. I attach faith to it. Positive emotion. I believe it. I attach desire to it. I want $100,000 in the bank. I'm obsessed to have $100,000 in the bank in a positive way. I'm enthusiastic. I'm having enthusiasm. I put that to it. Positive emotion. I put love. I want this $100,000 so much with love. All right. Sex. That's just the flow, the conversation. Sex is beyond physical. All right. And hope. Hope is a beautiful thing too. And then all the rest of these help make sure that it happens. Initiative, intuition, action. And you can add whatever other great asset you want to give to yourself in improvement that you can, remember or think of that day. And these are the things that we will become. All this. Highly loved, highly valued, highly respected, highly appreciated. Okay? I make great deals and people love to make great deals with me. That's what we become. Once we convince ourselves right here in the green. In the blue. So, excuse me. We got a little bit more disclaimer right here. And it says, like I said, we can say affirmations all we want, but if we don't believe it, it probably won't happen. Okay, I just said all this. But emotion is energy in motion. We have to put positive emotions into our plans and our thoughts, right? Those 7 I just mentioned. Faith, desire, obsession, hope, enthusiasm, love. Okay? So here we go. Here's the next key part into this mentality, this, money conscious, successful mentality in this continuation and actually, the actuality of, the other side of achieving this, which is enthusiasm. Okay, enthusiasm is what gets us sold. All right, enthusiasm is what lets others know that, hey, this guy or this woman here, she must be onto something. All right, enthusiasm is contagious. Now, right here in blue, I say I've noticed that enthusiasm and using somebody's name is some of the most highly effective methods in making deals, dealing with the part stores, the repair shops, shippers, receivers, brokers, the cashier at Walmart, family, friends, and etc. Right? Enthusiasm in using their name. Each person counts. Do your best. We got to do our best to like use people's names. Even when we call a broker, hey, this is Steve. Okay, hey Steve. Yeah. We got a load that you're looking at. That I'm looking at right here. Each person is a person, you know, and everybody loves to be pretty much called by their name. So there's nothing weird about it. It's okay. Do your best to put enthusiasm in using somebody's name together. Okay. But here's the red flag on it, right? Do make an effort to be authentic, okay? Right? Because and to be genuine. Nobody likes a con man. Most successful people will know if you're just trying to butter them up and talk a good game, okay? So we don't want to do that. But we do want to be genuine, and we do want to spread love, and that's another one of the positive emotions. You know, enthusiasm and love. So, being enthusiastic can be difficult if you don't have anything to look forward to, and or, you know, something to be happy about. So, I'll tell you what I do a lot of the time as far as like enthusiasm is that I let my exact goal, you know, the one we were just saying, $100,000 in the bank this year by December 31st. I let that goal be the source of my excitement, right? So I'm just like, I got this thing in my head that I'm like, I'm going to have $100,000. I'm going to have $100,000. I'm going to have $100,000. And many people will probably never know, but they're like, man, what's that one thing this guy Drew just like, he's got him ticking, and he's just like, you know, doing all this creative stuff and videos and music and does this, you know, this cool stuff like, you know, and positive person. Well, a lot of the time is I'm excited because I keep myself excited about whatever goal it is that I want to achieve. Right? So being excited, what I'm saying here at the time of this writing, and I still pretty much agree with this though, but it's like being excited is much more sustainable than always trying to be happy. You know, like being happy all the time is a little unsustainable because it's like, it's an emotion that kind of comes and goes. Like, you'll feel happiness for about 3 minutes straight, then it'll kind of fizzle out for a little bit. And it's difficult to maintain like that high level of happiness, but being excited is pretty cool because you just got to remind yourself what you're excited about, and boom. Right here in the blue, when you're excited about something, happiness tends to follow, right? If we're excited about going out to eat or going to do this thing or whatever, we're probably, now the happiness is following the excitement. So if you ever start to get down, like morally, or like, you know, you're kind of like losing hope or faith in your goal or your operation or whatever you're doing, I understand. Believe me, I've been there a ton of times, especially in the beginning, you know, figuring this all out and figuring myself out as a man also. But if you ever start to get down and feel unenthusiastic, if that's even a word, unenthusiastic, you know, or lack of enthusiasm, just remember what your goal is and increase your desire. Remember what your goal is and want it even more than you did before. Right? Because sometimes that even still happens to me. You know, I get comfortable at home or doing different things, and I'll forget what my goal is, and like 2 weeks will go by, and I feel like something's off. I'm like, man, something's off. My energy isn't right. Then I remember, and more often than not, when I reach those points is because I kind of got a little too comfortable and I forgot what my goal was. So once I remember my goal is like, oh, and like in this case, $100,000 in the bank this year by December 31st. I'm like, okay, then I got to just increase my desire. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get this. I know I can get this. I know I can get this. I know I can get this. Right? So let's continue. Napoleon Hill really stresses this in Think and Grow Rich. You know, increase your desire. All right, I even got it wrote into my, you know, my first generation Andrews Method logo. Increase your desire. Increase your desire. And I have to remind myself to do it too, right? Because once we reach this level of mentality, this state of mind, it does take constant maintenance. So even, you know, once we get there, we can still slip from time to time. We got to pull ourselves back on. But the more we know the path that needs to be taken to get to that state of mind, the quicker we can bring ourselves there, and the more we can be aware if we start to drift from this positive state of mind where we have this money consciousness, where we attract money and build our reality from a conscious place. You know, we surround ourselves with, you know, based off the reflection of the things that we want, and it comes from a positive place. So when one starts to feel down or lose the drive, we must do what? Increase the desire, increase desire, increase desire. All right. So let me write that down. That's gonna be in the test, chapter 2. When one feels down, to do what? Increase your desire. So, anyways, that's important. Let's continue. Here in the blue, this cycle of making yourself want. This is a cycle of making yourself want it more. Remind yourself what you want over and over and over and over and over again. Increase the desire over and over again until you pull yourself out of the slump and you get excited again. Your mental state is your responsibility. Right? I know it's kind of a tough pill, but you know, it is what it is. And once you get your mental to the right state of mind, like this positive state of mind of, you know, money consciousness and creating from that place of consciously positive state of mind, boom, it will take regular maintenance and preventive maintenance to keep it right. So, but the great news again is, yes, it is worth it. Okay. With your subconscious mind in agreement with your conscious mind, enthusiasm will begin to lighten your load and even move mountains for you. Okay? Think back to when my clutch line broke earlier. I had a lot riding on getting that part in that, in the line back to make my Friday delivery. It seemed like a mountain at the time. But because of my enthusiasm and my initiative, the mountain literally moved, and I not only got past it, but I scored heavy on the following back-to-back loads that came from me getting reloaded that Saturday, right? You know, I still did great. I ended up having like that $11,000 2 weeks and 2 days or whatever. And I got that load going to Delaware from ATL. That was like $3,600 on 600 miles. So all that came from, moving this mountain. That came from also, my enthusiasm that I kept. I didn't let it beat me down, and I wasn't like moping all around. Excuse me. I wasn't letting the situation like defeat me. That's kind of funny. Defeat, like feet. Like, no, I didn't let the situation put its feet on me. So, question here in the green. Do you think I would have made my deadlines and got reloaded if my enthusiasm was low? Like I was just describing. If I were to just put my hands up and say, hey, whatever happens, happens. You guys fix it or do whatever you do. And my answer to this is, yeah, I don't think so. So I knew what I wanted. I mixed positive emotion in, namely faith, desire. I really wanted it done, and obsession. Then I got obsessed with it. And I then used people's names and enthusiasm as the catalyst, right? Like as the vehicle to make it all happen. Because if I didn't make that personal connection with Charles, he wouldn't have fought for me like that. If I didn't make that personal connection with Nehemiah, I wouldn't have got the car that day. If I didn't make that personal connection with Forrest, I would have paid more for my parts. You see what I'm saying? If I didn't make those personal connection with my broker, he might have gone crazy. If I didn't make this personal connection, these are names with Lieutenant Joe, I think his name was at the time, maybe he would have left and I wouldn't have got unloaded. So, and it's my enthusiasm, and it's genuine. Like I said earlier up in the red, don't be a con. It's genuine. The universe and universal law is wanting to work with you, but you must be its vessel. You have to allow the universe to, work with you. So be a vessel that understands the mechanics of these universal laws. Even in the Bible, it says what? Ask and ye shall receive. It's okay to know what you want. All right, you're not going to make the trucking guides mad. You're not going to curse yourself. You're not going to do any of that. All right. I used to really believe that too. I was going to make the trucking guides mad. I was going to get a breakdown, and I was going to be out of business or something, okay? But that's not quite the deal. So it's okay to say what you're going to have. You're not going to jinx yourself or curse yourself. Excuse me. It's okay to believe in yourself. Like I said earlier, as long as you're a righteous man or a righteous woman and your intentions are great, then why would your desires not be God's will as well? This is my at Andrew's Method opinion, and yes, I'm sticking to it, okay? So God and life has shown me that once I got a hold of my own subconscious mind, that I could be the co-writer to my own story, to my own destiny. That whatever I want to do, I can co-write with God. So what do you see right here in the red letters? Warning. Oh man, I'm just a devil's advocate, huh? Bearer of bad news. But no, this is actually, it's all positive, okay? So let me warn you. Napoleon Hill also teaches in this book he has called Outwitting the Devil. Great book. I definitely recommend it. It's in my top 5 books that I'd recommend. Once you make your mind up on a goal, you will probably be faced with some type of negativity or some type of resistance. This resistance is a weapon that negativity uses to see if you will give up and join back to the lame, easy, and non-producing negative side of creation. We're just swamp, stagnation, mosquitoes, nothing grows. So negativity, it's probably going to kind of brush up on you and with some with a situation like once you start saying, oh, I'm going to make 100,000 or I'm going to make 50,000 in the bank this year, then maybe you lose a tire, or maybe this happens or this happens. And there's a good chance that negativity is going to mess with you a little bit to see how much you actually want it. And we can't give into this like, ooh, see, you can't want what you want. Life is always going to do this and beat you up. That's what it wants us to accept, that life is just going to negatively strike us whenever. That's what negativity wants us to believe. And that is more so than anything, that's just a state of mind. And it's hard, it's very difficult to be successful if you accept that state of mind. So please don't accept that state of mind. That everything, that life is always just willing to, around every corner, want to bite you like a snake. That's not quite the case. So, in the beginning, don't let the speed bumps and challenges along the way trick you off your path to do what you want. All right, it's going to be a little difficult probably, or maybe not, but hey, you have to prove yourself against negativity, that you're not going to give up and that you're not even worth negativity's time, okay? You pass negativity's test a couple times and negativity will just leave you alone for a while until you want to reach your next level and negativity come back to see if you want it again. Because after a while, negativity just rather, go get some easier energy to deal with. So here we go in the green. Once you stay committed and dedicated with no doubt, negativity will just basically eventually leave you alone. Because at this point, you're just not worth its time. Negativity literally has no power over you once you know what you want. Especially if what you want is rooted in positivity. Once you take back control of your subconscious mind, you will become the winner. And you are the winner at that point. I'll make a quick book excuse me. I'll make a quick book list at the end of this chapter. And this book will definitely be in it, okay? Right here in the red. I remember I used to be very loose and very vague in my money goals. I would say things like, I want to do well this year. Maybe I'll even get to 50K. If everything goes well, that is. Or stuff like, I'd really like to make 10K this next time I go out. I'm not going to promise anything, though. It may not happen. Or whatever it was, LOL, I say here. I can barely remember because I just will not allow myself to think like that anymore. It's coming from a place of scarcity. And we cannot create great things if we're coming from a place where we're being so timid and we don't have enough, and we come from the state of mind where things are scarce, like we don't have enough. Or that something outside of us controls our destiny, which is not the case. Okay, so because I will just not think like that. It helps nothing I used to think that I was being rude to God, for real. That, excuse me, that if I asked for too much, if I asked for too much money or something, I felt like I was being rude to God, like I was being disrespectful to my blessings or asking for too much or something weird like that. All right, there's some deeply rooted like Christian mentality stuff in me that was kind of like holding me back a little bit because of the way it was taught to me or something. But anyways, if I wanted to have a certain amount of money by a certain day, I would literally think that I would jinx myself or curse myself or whatever. Like I wouldn't get it just because I said it. I was still thinking in that old mentality. I was thinking that God would bless me with whatever I was supposed to get. And this actually is superstition. Yup, superstition. And there is just no place for superstition, really, okay, in this business. There's no place for superstition. It may seem righteous, but really, in my opinion, it's just self-doubt. Being timid and actually acting unworthy, like you're not worthy enough to make a great, successful living for yourself and your family, right? Is there something you're not telling us? No, it's okay. But no, we don't want to act unworthy. We don't want to be unworthy by having lack of faith or acting like we're not allowed to have stuff. We're allowed to charge $3 or $4, $5, $6 a mile. We're allowed to make $3, $4, $5, $6,000 a week, $7,000 a week if we want to. We're allowed to. We're allowed to say, hey, I'm leaving, honey, June 4th, and then when I come back at the end of this month, I want to have at least 3, 6, 9. I want to have at least 9 to 15K profit in the bank after fuel. There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay. If you're a positive person, then why worry about offending God? This is the question that took me a very long time to start asking, okay? God has built this universe on law and order. So it has also been said, what? That my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. Knowing that you can jump into God's operating system, that's knowledge, right? So that's cool, right? Having the knowledge that you can get into God's universal law, like we're talking here with conscious and subconscious mind manifestation, and dealing with the power of emotion and intention and thought. But acting on this knowledge is when we really get to the strength, which is called faith. All right, so it's not enough just to know that all this exists and is part of what's going on. Acting upon it, like actually moving and making calculated moves based off this reality, is faith. Excuse me. And also like not just knowing that about different universal laws, but actually like feeding into these universal laws because it's real, and that's faith. Excuse me. Jeez. So let's continue. I challenge you to study the metaphysics and ancient history in your spare time, if you so feel inspired to. Just ancient time, Mesopotamia, Babylon, Kemet, Egypt, Ethiopia, etc. Okay, I'll just leave it right there. But how does this all relate to trucking? Oh my gosh. Andrew's method just took us on a 1-hour detour, but you'll see that's not the case. How does this all relate to trucking? I think you know, and I think you see, right? Without a positive mentality, or without a positive state of mind, we are really stealing our blessings from ourselves, right? There's a ton of great stuff that can happen, or that we could allow to happen in our life and in our process, but because we're not in a positive state of mind, we either don't see it, we don't take the opportunity, we don't have the conversation with this one person who needed our positive, smile, but this was a person who's going to help us get to the next level. We didn't do it because we weren't in the right state of mind, and we didn't see it or something, okay? So, oh man. But these are a lot of the situations that could be the ripple effect of not operating in a state of mind that promotes success and attracting wealth. Okay. So you might end up being your own biggest roadblock and don't even know it. This whole state of mind stuff. You have to be real with yourself. You have to do a full inventory of your thoughts, your goals, emotions, and your ambitions. And at this point, we have to get rid of what doesn't serve us anymore. Okay? We have to only feed our mind and our energy with greatness, strength, and faith. Nothing less is accepted. And why would it be? It's not even great stuff. It doesn't anything else doesn't last. So negative emotions, they may come and go, but we have to deal with it, not just sweep it under the rug and try to make it look pretty real quick and just act as if it's not there. No, we have to deal with it. If we don't deal with it right away or as soon as possible, it can have a tendency to really just like distract us from our goal, distract us from our enthusiasm, distract us from our hope, distract us from our faith. And next thing you know, here we are 14 or 20 days later, and we're trying to figure out why our energy's off and what's going wrong. It's because we had some negative thought or some negative emotions or whatever. We didn't deal with it, and it grew like a snowball, and next thing you know, our life is just chaotic again. Or like, how did it get here? Probably because we didn't deal with some type of negative emotion that we should have dealt with early on when we first became aware of it. You must endure the negative emotion and then just let it go. Then you just get to go straight back into programming yourself for greatness. Okay, we get right back to keeping our train, like a train, our life upright on the train track. We put the train back on its tracks. Train on the track. Train on the track. Train on the track. These are some of the biggest things to remember and become when it comes to mentality. Okay, so I know it's kind of a lot to take in, but hopefully more so you're just getting the power and proximity by having this conversation with me and by just feeling what it is that I'm telling to you through how I'm deciding to express it with you. But really it's just this state of mind. And so as we proceed into the specifics of how to be successful in trucking, through the different parts that I feel like are necessary to discuss going forward, into what things to watch out for and things to be prepared for, and different tactics to build a profitable operation that we can go ahead and start making money ASAP, more money ASAP, is that this mentality part. Okay, so you can always come back to this chapter 2 and you'll have the book, so you can come right down here and I summarize all of it into like an easy to remember pattern, or even just thumbing through the chapter. But really it's that mantra. It's like developing a mantra like that for yourself and saying it over and over again every day, and even throughout the day until you finally believe it. And once you believe it, keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. Okay, then you'll become the person that you want. Then of course the key is what we were just breaking down, is we got to know what we want first. All right, we got to have a goal and we got to have a date. So let's go through these key points here so we can close up mentality. We can get into my operation. Okay. Not my operation, but operation, which is the blueprint of what we need to do out here in trucking. So, key points. Number 1, know what you want, exactly what you want. Put a date on it when you want to buy. I want $100,000. I'm going to have $100,000 in the bank this year by December 31st. I just put a date on it, December 31st this year. Take control of your subconscious mind through the practice of autosuggestion. I am highly loved. I'm highly respected. I'm highly appreciated, and I'm highly valued. And I make great deals, and people love to make great deals with me. I stand my ground, but in a likable way. Okay? This is what I mean. 3, affirmations do not work unless we mix in positive emotion, and we must believe it. Don't just simply repeat the words. You must believe it. None of this, I'm highly blessed and I'm highly loved and I do make, great deals and people. No, you didn't change anything. But I understand in the beginning it might be like that for a couple of days, but do progressively. Each time you go through it throughout the day, do progressively allow yourself to believe it more and more and more. I challenge yourself. I challenge yourself. I challenge you. Excuse me there. So here we go. Number 4, faith, desire, obsession, and enthusiasm are like best friends. Okay? Faith, desire, obsession, and enthusiasm. Those 4 guys. Attach all your desires, ideas, and goals to these emotions. Man, I really want to pay off my truck. Okay, cool. Attach it to faith. I am going to pay off my truck. I desire. I can't. I want to pay my truck off. I'm obsessed with paying my truck off. And enthusiasm is, I know I'm going to do it. See how enthusiasm and faith are like right there with each other? So the enthusiasm, you know, you are enthusiastic now because of your faith. I know I'm going to pay this truck off. And watch how these mountains start to move for you. Because now you're paying attention, you're enthusiastic, you're listening, you're watching other truck drivers, you're talking to other owner operators, you're going through this course, you're hanging out with me, you're doing these different things, and so you're doing the things that are going to sharpen your skills to be able to perform in the first place because of your enthusiasm and your faith that you know what's going to happen. It's crazy. Here we go, number 5. Enthusiasm is contagious. So play offense with enthusiasm and watch how often it gets returned, right? By being obsessed with what you... Okay, this is number 6. I just didn't number it. So right here, so play offense. Instead of like waiting for somebody to be like nice with you, just go ahead and just be enthusiastic with them. Yeah, how's it going? Yeah. Throw a little smile. Smiles go a long way because it's difficult. For many people, I think they find it difficult to smile. And we've all been there in our lives where it's been difficult to smile too. So by taking initiative to play offense, what I mean by play offense is like just kind of like, start off the interaction with enthusiasm. Just kick it off with enthusiasm, and you'll be proud. You might be surprised. Watch how often it's returned to you. You bring somebody enthusiasm strong 80% of the time. It's like you get it right back. But I know sometimes it could be difficult to get into the spirit, and that's what we're working on right now. That's why this chapter is so important. So please play this one back as we go for it. Because if you can master this mentality part, the rest of it's going to come so much easier. 6, by being obsessed with what we want, the how will I do it part will get revealed in due time. The more you increase your desire and go forward. So let's not worry too much about how will I do it. Let's just stay focused on what we want to the point where we're obsessed with it. And we're just constantly just like in this state of flow where like we'll look at this and this will be shown to us and we'll watch this video on YouTube and eventually our answers will get answered. So let's not put self-imposed pressure or stress about how will I do it. Just stay focused on that it will get done. 7, this chapter on mentality is all real. There's no smoke and mirrors to it. It will take work and effort, but this is the foundation for your success. The state of mind that that we operate in is our foundation for success. Would you rather build in harmony with the universe and in the construct that we live in, or would you rather build against it and always have it throwing bricks at you and trying to knock you down? Well, since you put it that way, yeah. So, and number 8, please, okay, enjoy your process. Don't be so blinded by the goal that you can't have fun along the way. All right, so with all that being said, that's the fun restriction. All right, so please just enjoy the process. Please enjoy your journey just as much as you think you're going to enjoy the destination. Because I tell you, a lot of the times, sometimes when we make these goals, we get to the destination and we still don't reach that feeling of satisfaction. Because why? Because life is teaching a lot of us learn this a little bit later in life, but to enjoy the journey just as much as we enjoy the destination. Very important. It's not written on there. That's only in the exclusive coming through the course, okay? So, one more thing I want to share about mentality is this, okay? Now, this is something that I'm just leaving you with as a way to think about how important and how real all of this is. And it's an analogy of why we should take the initiative to protect our state of minds. What does it say right here in the green? Our mind is like real estate. It's like prime real estate. like downtown Manhattan, Fifth Avenue type real estate, like expensive. We were born into this world with this free inherited plot of land. It is up to us to decide what we build here in our mind, who we let live here in our mind, and what rules and traditions will we set in our mind, and what type of place will it be in our life. What am I saying? Well, negativity in general, loves to catch a free ride. Okay? There are certain people in your life, positive or negative, that you allow to live in your head. Okay? Which is inside your mental real estate, right? How I mentioned real estate. So this is your real estate, big old piece of property, however big you want it to be, whatever type of building, landscaping, hobbies, shops, cool place, you name it, right? However you want. Nice fence, palm trees, banana trees, pine trees, whatever your taste. This is your place. Now imagine that this is your land, you're the president, and you're the bank. You call all the shots. Would you allow negativity and distracting culture on your prime real estate? It would just take away your enjoyment. Like, you're the big president and the boss. Like, would you allow that to yourself to live in that type of condition? Would you let outsiders influence or ruin your amazing real estate creation? Would you let people that you don't like influence your creation? Okay? This is what we do when we allow negative emotion to be entertained. This negativity can be from a family member, a mother, a grandma, a cousin, a friend, your loved one, or whomever. This negativity that we're collecting from other people's vibes lurks around inside of us, inside of you, inside of who we are, okay? Even anger, see, this is how serious it is. Even your anger against one of these people. I can't stand the way that, she does that. I can't stand the way that my grandma won't buy everything she needs at the store the first time and wants to go to the store 5 times a week. I can't stand the way that this person chooses their, whatever it is. This anger held against one of these people, if held in for too long, will give them an all-access pass to live in your mental real estate in your mind. Because now you're thinking about them. They're not even thinking about you, but you're thinking about them with this negative emotion, messing up your place. Even if you're not consciously thinking about this person or what they did or didn't do, the emotion, how it feels, is lingering in your subconscious mind and in your body, therefore affecting your manifestation process and ultimately your what? Your happiness. Can't do that. Can't give nobody a free ride. I can't give negativity a free ride. So that's why when they say you got to forgive your enemies and stuff, it's not like that, but it's like we got to release this anger. Okay, this anger has to be released from us because this anger is a negative state of mind inside the real estate. What does it say in the blue? The sooner that you realize that you're in control of your mental real estate, of what lives in your head, the better. The more you take control of what lives in your head, the more the little disturbances won't anger or bother you as much. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick little break because I hear my wife coming in, so I'm gonna press stop real quick and we'll get right back to it. Huh? Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's not until about now when these trees do their shade. Yep. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave on Monday. Yeah, I'm gonna head out on Monday to go to Virginia. I've been doing okay. I've been getting my experience. You know, I've been losing money. I lost probably about $700 in the stock market the last 3 or 4 days, but I'm learning fast though. And I'm hanging out with these guys and I'm figuring out Mentality. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yo. Excuse me. let me sign in with my. Okay, close this camera. No, I'm gonna go outside. No, I stay inside. But I do need my what did I just call that, super hat. Damn, I can't use it. Pop it, pop it, pop. God dang. God damn. All these images too small. Yeah, this one should work. Hold the flip, on flip, like turn, alright, cool. Ooh.
BeatStars.com. BeatStars.com.
Flip, hustle, dip, ride, flip, hustle, dip, zip, 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 zip and parlay. Zip, 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 yeah, I parlay. I'm smoking zip, 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 zip as I parlay. Don't hate me cause I smoke zip, zip, and I parlay. Parlay, parlay. Gonna feel the thing, man, I gotta move the day. Gotta move this shit like business. Burger King can't have it your way. Gotta go around with the bang.
I'm still recording. Man, I pressed stop.